Somewhere in your house, right now, there's a notebook with only 3 pages filled in. An app you downloaded to finally get organized. You used it for 4 days. A version of you that started strong, full of fire, convinced this time would be different. Then it happened again. Not at the start, not at the end, somewhere in the middle. The motivation just disappeared. You call it laziness. You call it a lack of discipline. But what if that's not it at all? What if your brain is hiding something from you? Something so strange that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Stay with this for the next 8 minutes, because by the end, you're going to look at every unfinished thing in your life completely differently. In the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik sat in a busy cafe in Vienna. She watched the waiters work, and she noticed something almost impossible. The waiters could remember huge, complicated, unpaid orders in perfect detail, but the moment the bill was paid, the order vanished from their memory, completely, like it had never existed. She had to know why. Back in the lab, she gave people a series of small tasks, puzzles, simple assignments. But here's the twist. She secretly interrupted half of them, never letting people finish. Later, she asked everyone what they remembered. The results should not have been possible. People remembered the interrupted, unfinished tasks nearly twice as clearly as the ones they completed. She called it the Zeigarnik effect, and it means something unsettling. Your brain does not let go of unfinished business. It keeps the file open, quietly, in the background, waiting. That notebook with 3 pages filled in, it's still open in your mind right now. You just didn't know it. But if your brain wants closure that badly, why can't you just push through and finish? This is where it gets darker. Kurt Lewin, the man who mentored Zeigarnik, believed your mind runs on something he called tension systems. Every goal creates pressure. Starting builds it. Finishing releases it. In the beginning, that pressure feels like momentum. Exciting, almost addictive. You can see the finish line clearly, and it pulls you forward, like gravity. Then, the middle arrives. The finish line blurs. The task stops feeling like an adventure and starts feeling like a weight. And somewhere in your mind, a quiet, dangerous question starts repeating, is this still worth it? You are not the one asking that question. Your brain is, and it's running a calculation you never agreed to. Here is where the real trap reveals itself. Psychologist Roy Baumeister ran an experiment that should terrify anyone who's ever given up halfway through something. He placed 2 groups in a room with warm, fresh cookies. One group could eat them. The other was forced to resist the cookies and eat radishes instead, staring at the temptation the entire time. Then both groups were given a puzzle with no solution. The radish group, the ones who had to resist, gave up in less than half the time. Something inside them had been drained. Not their intelligence, not their character. A limited resource, willpower. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Every decision you make today pulls from that exact same reserve. Resisting your phone, answering a hard email, forcing yourself out of bed. By the time you finally sit down to do the thing you actually care about, the thing that excited you 3 weeks ago, the tank is already low. Not empty, just low enough that the middle of any task suddenly feels unbearably heavy. This is the real reason you can't finish what you start. It was never laziness. It was a mind managing a resource you didn't even know was being spent. There's one more twist. Your brain is chemically wired to reward what's new. Dopamine spikes around novelty, not repetition. The first day of anything feels almost electric. The 10th day feels like nothing at all. That's not you losing interest. That's biology quietly pulling the reward away right when you need it most. So, the excitement was never built to last. It was only built to get you moving. Which brings us to the only question that actually matters. If your brain is working against you like this, how do you win? The first weapon is the very thing that's been haunting you, the Zeigarnik effect. Instead of stopping a task at a clean, comfortable point, stop it mid-sentence, mid-sketch, mid-thought. Leave it broken on purpose. An unfinished thread pulls at your mind far harder than a finished one. Writers have used this for decades, ending a session in the middle of a scene instead of the end of it. Tomorrow, that open loop will drag you back before you even decide to sit down. The second weapon is smaller than you'd expect, but it changes everything. Stop aiming at the whole mountain. Your brain does not build motivation from something distant and massive. It builds motivation from movement it can actually see right now in front of it. Break the middle into pieces so small that starting costs you almost nothing. Not because you lack ambition, because you finally understand how your own mind actually works. And the third weapon, protect your willpower like it's running out, because it is. Stop saving your hardest task for the end of the day after it's already been drained by 100 invisible decisions. Spend it first. Spend it early. Give your most important work, the version of you that still has something left to give. Here's the strange, almost comforting truth in all of this. That notebook, that app, every project you've abandoned halfway through, none of it means something is wrong with you. It means your mind did exactly what nearly every human mind does. It chased the spike of something new. It spent its limited reserve before you even noticed. It lost its grip somewhere in the unglamorous middle, where no one was watching, and the finish line had already gone blurry. You are not the only person with an unfinished chapter sitting quietly in the back of your mind. Now think about that notebook again. 3 pages filled in, dozens left blank. Maybe it was never actually empty. Maybe some part of your mind has been holding that page open this entire time, waiting for you to finally come back and finish it.